Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Online Sunday School. I hope you enjoyed last week's video where we acted that out. That was lots of fun.
Yep.
And there was fire and smoke, and that was good. Today we're going to talk about some part of the Bible that's in Luke. It's about lost things, lost coins and lost sheep. Have you ever lost anything, Hannah?
Yep, I lost the cross that you gave me so I could fall asleep easier, and then I found it again.
Where did you find it?
It was in my pocket under a lot of stuff.
One time I lost my wedding rings, and they are really important to me. And I lost them in Calgary in a parking lot on a busy road. And I looked and looked and looked and couldn't find them. And I kept going back and looking for them. And then my pastor's wife found them. And I was so happy to get them back. Some things are so important to us, we just keep looking and looking until we find them. And some things are not that important. If we lose a pencil, we just go get another one, right? But if things are important, then we keep looking until we find it, right? So I'm going to read to you today out of Luke. And Jesus was telling this story. It's called a parable. And a parable is a story with kind of a lesson to it, something that you need to learn. So he says, suppose one of you has 100 sheep and loses one of them. Does he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders and goes home. And then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep. I tell you that in the same way there will be more rejoicing in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who do not need to repent. So it says he's really excited about the one that came back to God. So, and it says that there is more rejoicing over them than even the 99 who are already there. And sometimes that sounds a little bit unfair, but if you think of it this way, if you have a whole bunch of people in your family, like we do, and one gets very, very, very sick, and then they get better again, we rejoice over that one that's healthy, right?
Yep.
But do we always throw a party for everybody who's always healthy?
No.
No, because that's just the way it's supposed to be, right?
Yep.
Yes, so we're very excited when something bad happens and then is made good. So that's what he's talking about. Now the next part is about a coin. He says, or suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Does she not light a lamp and sweep the house and search carefully until she finds it? And when she finds it, she calls her friends and neighbors together and says, rejoice with me, I have found my lost coin. In the same way, I tell you, there is rejoicing in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. So we look for things that we need to find. I have a funny story about something that I lost one time. I lost the snake. I had a pet snake named Arnold, and he got out, and he was lost in my house. And I searched for him like crazy. Not exactly because he was that important, but more I was afraid because there was a snake loose in my house. So I wanted to tell you it's important to be looking out for people who are what church people call lost, and it's not really that they're lost. It means that they've gone away from God. If you are in a store and you wander away from mommy, and you know where you are, but she doesn't, she thinks you're lost, right? So if you wander away, it's called lost. So people that wander away from God are called lost, even though they know exactly where they are in town or in the farm or whatever. And so Jesus wants to find his lost people, the ones who have wandered away from him. And he knows where they are, but they're still called lost, because they're important to him. And some people say, well, why? There are so many people in the world. Why would they care? So pretend there was a hurricane in oh, I don't even remember where it was, some islands in the south, and there was a really bad hurricane, and the water came in and it swept people away, and they were separated, and they were looking for people. It just washed people away, and so people were looking for their family members. Now I have 10 grandkids, so if I was in that hurricane and the kids all got separated from me, and I looked and looked and looked, and I found 9, would I quit looking?
No.
No, because I have 9. 9's pretty good. It's pretty close to all of them. But I want to find that last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they are all important to me. And so that's the way God is too. It doesn't matter how many he has. He still wants to find all the lost ones because they're important to him. Right?
Yep.
Do you know people who are lost? I know people who are lost. People who used to love God and just wandered away. Or maybe they don't even know him yet. And Jesus says, I want them to come to me. I don't want them to be lost anymore. So that's one of the reasons why we do these videos, and Pastor Dave does his church videos. It's so that people who are lost can find their way back to God. That's pretty awesome, eh?
Yep.
Because that's what we want, right? So our craft today, we are going to do look and find. And so we have a jar. This one is big and plastic. You don't have to have a huge jar. You can use any kind of jar you want. And we also have some plastic beans in here. Now, probably most of you don't have plastic beans, but you can use rice or quinoa or bird seed. Ask your mom just for something. It needs to be little tiny small things, and it needs to be not sticky. So bird seed is good and rice is good. Okay, Hannah, I want you to fill up that jar with this. Can I help you do that?
Yeah.
So we don't pour it. Oh my goodness, I bet we're gonna pour it everywhere. Woo! You did. I did. Oh my goodness, what a mess. That is a huge mess. I hope you guys don't make a mess like this at home. Okay. Yeah, I saw that in there. There was a straw in there that was in the bag that I didn't know. Okay, now Hannah has a bunch of little things that she's going to put in, and they're just like toys, like a duck, a twist tie.
Pumpkin.
So make a list as you put things in, and try to just get little things that can hide in there.
Like a dice.
A dice.
And a eraser.
And a battery.
And a hair thing.
A button.
An elastic.
A key.
A marble.
A safety pin.
A red ring.
A tiny, tiny clothespin.
A penny.
A plastic snowflake. You put a penny in there? That will be our lost coin.
A bell.
And a chain.
A heart.
A lock.
A butterfly.
A cross.
A star.
Is that everything?
A spider.
A spider, just for Lisa, a spider. And a screw. Okay. Well, I think we can leave a little bit of space at the top, and we'll put the lid on. And we'll shake this around. And then we can turn it, and we can see things here. You shake it until you can find something. And we'll try to find the lost coin. I can see the hair tie. I can see the twist tie. Oh, there's the straw we put in by accident. There's the clothespin and the cross. We'll see if we can find the lost coin. I see some duck feet. So that's our craft today. I hope you don't make as big a mess as we made, but that's okay. We can clean it up,
I see a
right?
cross and what are those called?
A clothespin?
Yeah.
A clothespin. So I want you to remember that you are important, and Jesus is always looking for you. He's always watching out for where you are. And if you feel a little bit lost, you just call out to him, and he will always, always be with you. Our song today, Jenna picked out our song today because we've been doing a lot of new songs and she wanted to do one of our old favorites. So we're going to do Fruit of the Spirit. And so I hope you enjoy it and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
The fruit of the Spirit's not a coconut. Fruit of the Spirit's not a coconut. If you want to be a coconut, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a banana. The fruit of the Spirit's not a banana. You wanna be a banana? You might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a watermelon. The fruit of the Spirit's not a watermelon. If you wanna be a watermelon, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a lemon. The fruit of the Spirit's not a lemon. If you wanna be a lemon, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Oh, the fruit of the Spirit's not a cherry. The fruit of the Spirit's not a cherry. If you wanna be a cherry, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, and gentleness, and self-control. Okay, everybody knows that grapes come in bunches, so everybody get in big bunches. The fruit of the Spirit's not a grape. The fruit of the Spirit's not a grape. You wanna be a grape, you might as well hear it. You can't be a fruit of the Spirit, cause the fruit is love, joy, peace, patience,